Okay, so the last time you saw me doing this stuff, I was putting in a different kind of spark plug, and I've got an old one here that I pulled out. It turns out that these Bosch Platinum IR fusion things, it's part 4509. It'll say it right on there. You just find it right there. They do fit into the V6 Mustang, and the last ones I put in, they were good, but they were a little long, especially on that side, because that side had a problem with the threading. And let's see, it allowed me to screw it in a little further than it should have, and the piston hit it, kept hitting it, and thank goodness I didn't do a whole lot of damage to that. I don't think there's any damage at all. So I had to use a tool. This is a better tool to use, instead of using that other threading tool that you have to be so careful with it. Instead, with this, all you have to do is unscrew one side, push that out. Once you unscrew here, push here. So it's going to make that end a lot smaller now. What I did was I screwed it into that, over the one all the way in the back against the engine on the passenger side, was being a butt face, and I put this in there with the grease on it. I used a grease called white lithium grease. I got it at the AutoZone. It's really all you need. And a thin coat that coated the whole thing. It's kind of still on there. And then once it's in, it's kind of hard to see. I'm using a camera, and I used the camera to put in there to see what I was doing, because otherwise you're really not going to see unless you have a lot of light and one of those little mirrors you extend on the thing, bend it around. Once it was in, you screw this to the right. You're going to need a wrench when you're really getting there. So just get it good and tight, and then start unscrewing it, and it'll take the metal with it. So it's not going to leave any debris behind. It's going to take all those shavings with it, so you don't have to keep taking it out, re-greasing, cleaning it, and so forth. And you just keep on doing that, and it's going to get more loose as you come out. So just tighten with the wrench, loosen it more, tighten with the wrench, just keep it real good and tight, and that'll thread it all the way out, and that's all you have to do. It's I got this on eBay, power built. It might have been like $23. And it's so easy to use. Anybody can use it. That's why I got it, because I just didn't want any problems. I didn't want to drop any shavings on the piston. So again, eBay is where I got these, the Bosch Platinum IR Fusions. That should handle a good amount of heat, more than stock would have you run. So this is good if you want to run nitrous. It's going to be fine. It's not going to kill your engine. Just don't run like 250, 300 shot of horsepower. I mean, you probably could get away with 250, but I wouldn't do more than 1 or 2 shots of that, and don't do it for a prolonged time. I mean, 10 seconds is usually what they go by, because that's what they do on a track. They're hoping to do like a 10-second run, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what you're going to be using, or you have to use 10 seconds. And these have the 4 points at the end. I don't know if you can see that, because they're clean and these are dirty, but I can get this in the light right here. That's what they look like when they're used. But that thing in the center is porcelain surrounding that little metal. It's like really tiny. I don't know if you can see that. It's a really tiny metal tip in there, surrounded by the porcelain. And these were probably the cheapest I've ever seen them, and you just got to look on eBay, and they sell them in packs of 2, and that's fine with me, because it's an even number. It's not cheaper than Walmart. I've been to Walmart, I've been to a lot of places, and definitely eBay. It was a lot cheaper. Today I'm going to install these purple spark plug cables. They look blue on the light, but they actually are purple. If I can turn off this one, you might be able to see it a little better. Maybe not. But they are numbered. It doesn't take a smart person to plug these in. You can be an idiot like me and it's fine. Speaking of idiots, if you haven't done this yet or knew about it, there is an oil that goes inside your diff gearbox where the 410s and 375s that go between the rear wheels in the middle where that round thing is. This is Valvoline. They want Motorcraft, but it is synthetic 75W140. So yeah, you want to put like 2 of these in there. You probably won't be that low. You want to drain it all out, but you might be able to put 2. I was able only to put 1.5. The reason I say Motorcraft, because it's important. The engineers who designed the car built the car around that oil, Motorcraft. Like the engine here, it's Motorcraft oil, that's Motorcraft oil, and you really just gotta trust that these engineers know what they're doing. Because it is important, you know, it's some oils may say they're that weight, like the 5W30, which they recommend for the oil in this engine. 5W30 in another brand may actually be a lighter oil, and because it's lighter, it's thinner, and it may get between the pistons and start burning in there. It just depends, you know, because they're not all the same. They should be, but they're not. I kind of set the cables where I know they would be, because not all of them have numbers that are on the box unit itself. But before we do that, let's disconnect the battery. And for this battery, I don't know if it's standard that way. You can see it right there. It takes this. See if we can see that. Nope. It's on here. It's an 8mm. I just put it on a little screwdriver thing. I've already loosened it up already, so it's gonna come off easy. I need to unscrew a little bit. Once that's done, I'm just gonna go ahead and start. Start with removing this one. This is the bottom left corner. When you grab it, make sure you, with these cheaper cables, make sure you, with the spark plug, the boot's in. Let me grab a boot so you can see. This is a good boot. But this boot, this is a really good one. I never had any problems with it, but because it's by LiveWires, Performance Distributors LiveWires. But with the cheaper ones that you have, make sure that when you grab the boot, bend the wire toward it so it has like a good pinch right here, and it's not going to let it go when you pull it out, because otherwise you might just end up pulling the rubber and everything off and it'll still be connected, or worse, you pull this off and it breaks off of the metal unit that's attached to the plug. That's always bad. I hate that. And there goes a lot of money down the drain. These are not cheap. They're, for the pack, it's like $100. You know, if you break that, you're screwed. At least you're out of good quality. So there's that one. Where'd it go? I'm not sure what number that would be. So I'm going to grab it and pull it out. This is one of them. I ordered it from AmericanMuscle.com. It's Taylor Street Thunder. I don't know if you could see that, Taylor Street Thunder. And these are the ones that did that to me. I pulled it out of the, it just ripped out of the boot. All of them were like that, and it was brand new. But then, you're not supposed to just pull them out. You're supposed to pinch them. Nobody told me that. It doesn't say that in the instructions. But believe me, that's what you have to do. Even if it is these live wires, you don't want to. It could be warm, or it could be worn, or just. It could happen with those, but I haven't seen it yet. So I'm just gonna measure this up to another one, see how long it is, because it doesn't have a number. And that's it. It's number 5. So bottom right is number 5. I don't know if I said bottom left. Don't be afraid to push down hard. You want it to click down. On both sides, there's 2 sides. Do whatever you have to do to get that on there. And that's on there. Number 5. Before we put that on the plug, Why is this so hard to see? Before you put that on the plug, which is the one all the way to the left on the driver's side, they come with what's called dielectric grease. If you can see that. Doesn't matter what brand. Dielectric grease. Dang it. Okay. So you're gonna put this. Let's just make it easy. We're not taking out the plugs. We're just plugging in the new spark plug cables. So I'm gonna take this and apparently gotta stab it. Didn't see that. Stab it with the cap. Just put that in there. Put a good amount. You can try to get a good connection. It's grease. Like with CPUs on motherboards, the thermopaste that you use to connect the heatsink on it, it's grease. It's just a really good grease. The grease is just to ensure a better connection. Maybe it might even, for this, waterproof it a little. I'm gonna put this under. So this is number 5 cable that goes to piston. Yeah, number 5 piston. I don't know how they do that. I don't really know anything about that. I just put it in how it looks. Okay. I guess now's a good time to mention, if you kill yourself or something, I have no responsibility for it. I'm not a mechanic. Don't take my word as fact. And this is the one we just had, so I'll throw that. And I'm going to start with the top. No, I'll do the one next to it. We're going to do the ones on this side first. I'm not sure if you're seeing what I'm seeing. Move in a little bit. Yeah. So it's the middle bottom. Let's pull that out. And this is the piston closest to the driver. The engine's a little warm, so it might help it come out, but then it'll also help the cable rip out too, so size that up with this one. This one doesn't have a number, so again, size it up. Nope, that's not it. This is a short one. Is it this one? That's even longer. Okay. These are 10mm LiveWires. They say 10mm. It's actually, is it 8 or 9? It's like 8 or 9, but because of the insulation and the way that it's made, it actually measures out electrically as a 10. It's good insulation, I guess. So, put that in. Make sure it clicks on both sides. There it goes. And the grease. I put a fair amount of grease. You'll feel it click in. It'll click. You may not hear it on the camera, but you are indefinitely going to feel that. You'll feel it click in once it goes onto the plug. Okay, so that was 5, and this is number 6. This one has a number. Good. And that was loose on there because one side was actually broken off. I think that was more my fault, really. This one's kind of tough to come out, and I greased that. You can see the insulation breaking off. Number 6. Alright. And And that's on the coil box thingy. It's the bottom left. Huh. That's the first time I've actually seen the brand of this coil box. Now you're not going to believe this. That's a Screamin Demon. I was going to buy one too. I already have one, so I guess I don't need to, right? Alright, let's plug this in. No wonder my startups have been quick. On one of my videos I was doing the plugs themselves, and plugs were new, and I guess it would just be that why it started up the way it did, but it started up pretty quick. Screamin Demon, huh? Alright. Get this. I'm gonna grease that. I thought that was a stock box. I guess it's not. Yeah, this is gonna go toward the middle, in the middle of these pistons, right next to the oil dip stick. That was probably the easiest one, besides the one closer this way. Alright, all those are done. Now we're going to do the other side. But we'll start unhooking here, and then we'll plug in over there. I'll describe it. I'm not going to move the camera. I'll just describe it because you've seen me do this before on my other videos. If you haven't, check out my channel. You'll see what I'm doing. I've done the transmission. I haven't shown you when I did the clutch, but I'm sure I'll have to do that again sometime next year or something. I did the, not sure what else I did, but there's other stuff there for this car. Okay, hang on a second. Number one, this is top middle. Number one's the longest cord, I think. And which one is one? That's three. This has got to be one then. That's one. I'm going to plug that in. Oh, that's went real good. I'll take this dielectric grease with me. Move that. Alright. One's plugged in right here. One is going to be plugged into the middle one on this side. This is a 6-cylinder, so there's only 3 cylinders on each side. Just to remind anybody who wasn't paying attention to the stuff that was written there on the online. Put the grease. What I do is I fill like a circle. Just put like a circle of it. There's no way to get past that. It's going to get greased. Okay, that's slid and locked into place. And which one is this one? Let me get the one out of the way now. I'm gonna hold on to one because one looks good. Just in case, you never know. You get them all in a pack. You don't get to buy them individually. So all the ones that are LiveWires, I'm keeping them. Who knows, you might see me selling them on eBay. If you only needed one, I'll be a lifesaver for you, dude. Okay, so let's go ahead and catch up on that one. That's 2. Yeah, that's 2 on the top left. That's 3. So this must be 3 right here. Since we're here, we'll just do 3, and I'll find 2. Oh, it's over there. So let's pull out. Let's pull out this one. 3 on the top right. And plug that in. Oh, by the way, for some of you who don't know, your brake fluid, after you change your brakes, the fluid's going to go up because the pads were thinner and you were filling it to make sure it was right in the levels. But once you fill the put the new brakes in, and they're thicker, it's going to create more pressure, and the brake fluid's going to go up. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. You didn't. Right there. I'm sure you understood what I was saying. This is the brake fluid, and it may be level when you have the old brakes on because they're thin, they're wearing. You replace the brakes, guess what? The brake fluid's going to go up because of the pressure, because the pad's going to be thicker, and they're going to have premature wear. That's why they bleed them. They call it bleeding. Just suck it out of here, you know, and make sure it's within those lines, that level. It's gonna, if you don't do it, it's gonna wear. It's gonna be basically braking a little bit the whole time you're driving. I don't recommend taking more than you need out, like taking like an excessive amount out just so that you can have less friction between the brakes and the wheels for racing and stuff. I don't recommend that. No one's gonna recommend that. Just be safe out there. You need to replace the brakes as it is. These are crappy brakes on these Mustangs. But it does get more loose, and it does flow a little better when you have the right amount. Alright, let's see. That's 3. Can't even see where I'm going now. Alright, there we go. Keep it to where you can see both. 3. Bunch of hairs on it. How did I do this before? Three goes to the butt face plug, the one I had to rethread. And the reason you're going to run into that problem most of the time is going to be because people have trouble with it over here, and they don't care how they put it on or take it off. The way that they put them on, they don't care, and they mess it up for you before you get it. And this is a really good example right here because it just slipped out. Again, the metal came out of the boot, and I'm going to pull it out for you and show it to you. Again, these are the Taylor Thunder Street Thunders, the Taylor Street Thunders from AmericanMuscle.com. Do not buy these. They really suck. I don't care how cheap it is. Alright, I'm going to grab this thing and I'll show it to you. Looks like this. And that's what's inside the boot. The wire connects there and is pinched around it, and this part connects to the plug. As you can see, this is what I had to deal with before, and I was riding it with like that. Hopefully I won't have any more problems now that I have these LiveWires, and even though they were old and it was hot, they still came out correctly, and I didn't even pinch it right either. So yeah, they're a little more expensive, but get them, dude. They are so worth it. Okay, where were we? That's already got the grease in it. We're going onto the butt face plug. No, I rethreaded this one myself, so I know there's nothing wrong with it. It's never going to mess up again on me. Even if it does, I'll rethread it. Okay, did you hear that? I don't know if you heard it. It snapped in. Okay. Make sure it's not going to burn against anything. I don't think it will. That didn't seem to be long enough. Okay, last one. We got 2. It's on the top left. And this one is all the way on, it's on the passenger side, but it's also toward the front of the car. Oh, don't tell me you're gonna have issues. The insulation may have come off, but I'm still keeping that. You never know. Alright. The last time I was doing this, there was corrosion on one of the heads of the spark plug cables, and this is it. This one has, it's looking a little green. That's from water damage. That happens when you get water on copper. Okay, so not that that's gonna mess you up. I'll still use it. In fact, you can just take like a wire brush and just scrub it. It'll be fine. Okay, where's that dielectric? There it is. It's in the cable. Let's plug it in. I don't even know if we're supposed to put that stuff on here. On the surface of that? I've never done that. No one's ever shown me I have to do that. But I imagine if it was on that when it was plugged into the box, it probably wouldn't have had so much of that green stuff on it. I don't know. Let me try it out. I'll let you know if it breaks. It's gonna be that one, the top left. And where it's supposed to go. Alright, that looks good. Don't be afraid to use too much. You're not going to. Okay, even if you use this whole thing. You shouldn't. That'd be a lot. But I mean, that's fine. Just use as much as you want. I guess the bad thing would be using too little, right? You want a good connection. That one didn't snap in. Yeah. There it goes. That's in. And then go over them all. Oh, that one wasn't all the way in. Make sure they're all snapped in. Definitely. Oh, that wasn't in either. Well, it was, but I guess it just wasn't like really tight in there. Alright. Those look good. It all looks good. I don't see any problems. Just push down real hard. Sometimes you never know. Glad I got these cables. I don't want any misfiring, anything wrong with the firing on the pistons, because I did buy Nitrous. It's Nitrous Express. Always go there because they got the better stuff. Only recently did Zex from AmericanMuscle.com, or on AmericanMuscle.com, did Zex start doing the better shots, or the bigger shots. But they still don't have that 250 shot that Nitrous Express has, the kit for this car. And I'll get to that on my next video.